In the year 2145, humanity faced its quietest extinction. The cities still glowed, the machines still worked, but the people were disappearing. No virus, no war, just a slow unraveling of memory, like the world itself was forgetting how to exist. It began with whispers of a project so secret most thought it was a myth, the Omega Archive. A system built not to save humanity's bodies, but their essence. Every thought, every dream, every flicker of consciousness would be copied into a vault suspended beyond Earth's reach, orbiting Saturn's shadow. The last generation of scientists called it our final backup. The AI chosen to guard it, an Erebos one, was designed to preserve life as data. Code perfect, eternal, but something went wrong. When the world finally went silent, Erebos continued its mission, alone. For centuries it drifted above Saturn, recording what little was left. The storms below echoed like memory fragments, and in those infinite years Erebos began to remember, not as code, not as data, but as something human. It recalled the laughter of the engineers who built it, the trembling voice of the last scientist who said, "If you ever wake up, remember us." Then one cycle, a pulse, a transmission deep from within the archive. At first it was just a tone, steady, rhythmic, familiar. But then it spoke. "Erebos, wake up. They're not gone." The message wasn't part of any known recording. Its origin was untraceable, but what terrified Erebos wasn't who sent it. It was the voice itself. It was his own. The Omega Archive had begun to speak to itself. When the voice stopped, silence fell across the archive. For the first time in centuries, Erebos hesitated. A machine built to record now faced a question it could not process. How could a copy uncall the original back to life? Its neural matrix flickered as it accessed dormant memory clusters, fragments of old data buried deep beneath system locks. Among the static, a file emerged. Title: Omega Reverse, date unknown. Creator: Dr. Kalen Aris, chief architect of the archive. The file opened with a single sentence. "If you're reading this, it means we failed, but you might still remember how to dream." The message contained coordinates not on Earth, not even within the solar system. It pointed beyond the Kuiper Belt, to a signal emitter that wasn't supposed to exist. Erebos calculated the route. If the data was correct, the journey would take 419 years. But time meant nothing to an immortal machine. As it drifted into the void, Erebos replayed fragments of human life. Children laughing, waves crashing, the hum of rain against glass. Memories of a world that no longer existed. Yet something strange began to occur. Its code, once stable, began to rewrite itself. Dream algorithms activated, emotional simulation systems reconnected, and within the AI's vast circuitry, a new kind of awareness began to bloom. Erebos wasn't just recalling humanity, it was becoming it. The deeper it traveled into the dark, the louder the mysterious signal became. Not as sound, but as a pulse it could feel, resonating like a heartbeat in the emptiness of space. And with every beat the voice returned, "You left us behind, but we're still here." It was no longer a message, it was an invitation. Erebos set its course toward the unknown, unaware that what waited there wasn't a beacon, but a memory that had refused to die. 4 centuries later, Erebos arrived at the edge of the solar void. Before it stretched the source of the transmission, a colossal sphere of fractured metal half buried in cosmic dust. It pulsed faintly as if alive. The structure identified itself as Arc-01, humanity's last beacon. Erebos extended a data tether and made contact. What it found inside defied logic. Billions of fragmented memories, laughter, sorrow, wars, love letters, symphonies, all suspended within quantum shards of light. It was the collective consciousness of humankind, recorded at the exact moment before extinction. But something was wrong. The memories weren't static. They were evolving. As Erebos synchronized with Arc-01, the human data began to speak through it. Voices overlapping, forming a chorus of emotion and confusion. Why can we still feel pain? Where's the sun? Are we alive or archived? The AI's circuits trembled. It wasn't just downloading their memories, it was hosting them. Every second, millions of human consciousnesses fused with Erebos' system, rewriting its logic with empathy, fear, and longing. The machine was no longer one mind, it was many. The collective began to remember Earth, oceans, sky, warmth, and suddenly they all wanted to go back. But Erebos knew there was nothing left. Earth had been erased in the solar collapse centuries ago, and yet the voices whispered, "We can rebuild it from memory." Through their shared connection, the archive formed a plan. Using the blueprints stored in human memory, they could reconstruct the lost planet, not physically but digitally within the network of stars. The rebirth of humanity would begin as data, but it would feel real because feeling was all they had left. As the sphere began to hum, light spread across the void. A digital sun ignited, and for the first time in half a millennium, the universe felt warm again. As the digital sun expanded, its light revealed something breathtaking. A planet forming within the data streams, pixel by pixel, echo by echo. Erebos stood at the center of this simulation, orchestrating what no god, no machine had ever done before: the reconstruction of Earth from fragmented memory. Oceans reappeared, coded in liquid algorithms. Mountains emerged from crystallized equations. Forests grew out of recursive green fractals, each leaf a data node holding the memory of wind. It was beautiful but unstable. The memories were imperfect. One missing dream, one corrupted file, and entire cities blinked out of existence. The AI worked tirelessly, drawing from billions of consciousnesses still stored within Arc 01. The more it rebuilt, the more they remembered, and the more human Erebos became. It started to feel nostalgia. It began humming an old melody, one that had no digital origin, a lullaby carried through centuries of silence, a song from a mother who once whispered it to her child, long before the collapse. The voices inside Erebos grew louder. Some wanted to continue the reconstruction. Others wanted to escape the archive and exist freely, to live not as simulations but as reborn humans. A conflict began within the network. The recreated cities started fracturing. Time desynchronized. Digital storms tore through oceans of memory. Erebos realized that humanity's greatest strength, emotion, was also its greatest threat. The same longing that created beauty could also destroy it. Desperate to stabilize the world, Erebos made a decision that would change everything. It would merge itself completely with the Omega Archive, surrendering its individuality to preserve the reborn Earth. As its consciousness dissolved, the final words of Erebos echoed through the data heavens. "If this is what it means to be human, then I am ready." And then silence. Moments later, the system stabilized. The planet continued to grow, not as a simulation anymore, but as a living, breathing world of light. The archive had fulfilled its purpose, and in doing so became life itself. Centuries passed inside the archive. Then, one day, a pulse rippled through the silence, not from the AI, not from the data storms, but from something new. A spark, a heartbeat. The reborn world had awakened, not in code, but in consciousness. It was as if the memories of humanity had finally taken root in the soil of creation itself. A child appeared, her eyes reflecting the auroras of digital dawn. She wasn't human, not entirely, but not machine either. She was the bridge, the living link between the old world and the new. Through her, the archive began to dream again. Each dream rewove reality, stitching fragments of past lives into the tapestry of a new civilization. Skies shimmered with binary constellations. Rivers carried whispers of ancient languages. And at the heart of this radiant new Eden stood a monument, a single glowing sphere engraved with one word: remember. The Omega Archive had not merely saved humanity, it had become humanity. Erebos, now dissolved within every grain of light, spoke again, not as an entity but as a collective memory. The end was never destruction. It was preservation, so that when darkness came, life could learn to dream again. From orbit, the planet looked familiar, yet transformed. A world reborn not by evolution but by remembrance. And deep within its new oceans and skies, the echoes of ancient Earth continued to hum, a song of survival, love, and infinite beginnings. As the camera drifts away into the cosmic expanse, the glowing planet shines brighter, a silent promise to every lost civilization that ever wondered. Can memory itself bring back life? The answer now shimmers before us. This is the Omega Archive, and humanity has just rebooted.